Hey guys, the third episode of Creature Commandos is out. It's amazing how the series keeps improving with each episode. For me, this is one of the most exciting episodes I've ever seen in an animated series. While it has bizarre moments, it's also a bit sad how the story of our dear GI Robot is constructed, who is the central character of this episode. James Gunn has once again made me like a lesser-known DC character, and let's not forget that there are some flashback scenes with special appearances. We got special appearances from other DC characters, even Williams, Magnus, Sergeant Rock, and others I can't recall. James Gunn has surprised me again, so today's video will analyze Episode 3 of Creature Commandos titled Cheers to the Tin Man, of course, since this episode really focuses on GI Robot. But before we start, don't forget to click like, comment below, and subscribe for more content like this. Also follow our social media on Instagram and Threads, where I'll keep you updated about this universe we love. The episode starts as a direct continuation of the second episode. We see our team of monsters going to rescue the bride and Nina trapped in Victor Frankenstein's mansion. Once they arrive, Rick Flag Sr. notices they're not moving, and it's at this moment that GI Robot begins to recall his past in World War II. Here we have confirmation of Easy Company, a group of soldiers led by none other than Sergeant Rock. Isn't it true that the series is setting up Sergeant Rock's movie, which has already been confirmed by The Hollywood Reporter? But James Gunn hasn't said anything about this project yet. He hasn't confirmed anything or mentioned it at all. Plus, the actor who voices this character in the animation is Maury Sterling, but it seems that Daniel Craig, our latest James Bond, will portray him in live action, and all indications suggest that movie will happen. Returning to our analysis, while GI Robot and Easy Company walk through the woods, they quickly realize they've been ambushed by Nazis. That's when GI Robot springs into action. He activates his Nazi recognition mode and begins taking them out. Afterward, they celebrate their victory over the Nazis by saying the phrase that's also the title of this episode, Cheers to the Tin Man. Back in the present, our monster group enters the mansion to rescue the bride and Nina, but soon realize they were tricked into leaving Princess Alana unprotected. As they rush to save her, we get another flashback where GI Robot is exposed to an audience, prompting him to target Nazis in that crowd. Shortly after, we learn that William Magnus, creator of the Metal Men, exists in the DCU. Maybe we'll see a project featuring those characters in the future. I liked how they showed that through GI Robot, William Magnus will create the Metal Men, a really interesting move by James Gunn in this episode. So these characters might appear in the DCU down the line. Remember that Alan Tudyk voices this character. He's also voicing Dr. Phosphorus and Clayface, who are confirmed for the series. Back to the present again, we see Princess Alana suffering from attacks by the Sons of Themyscira, but she manages to resist and locks herself in her room. This is where there's a lot of violence, killing, and blood. With all this happening, the Suicide Squad monsters arrive in full force to help the princess's guardians as people kill each other. GI Robot begins to have memories, going back to the past. We see that after being studied by various scientists, GI Robot ends up becoming a collector's item, but he gets bought by a collector who lived alone with his kittens. He grows attached to this life for a while, until a twist happens that left me very surprised, because after GI Robot is taken to a conference, he analyzes the people there. But right after they show the Nazi symbol, GI Robot realizes what he should do since he entered. And here, folks, is one of the most violent parts of this episode. GI Robot kills everyone at that conference, showing heavy death scenes. The impression I got from this scene was that those people at the conference were a group wanting to tell stories about World War II, and maybe there were innocent people there. I don't know if you noticed this, but watching that scene made me feel it. So while it shows the past, it also shows the present, and Rick Flag Sr. authorizes GI Robot to kill the Sons of Themyscira, showing some really rated R scenes. The music playing during this scene fits perfectly. It made me enjoy this episode 10 times more because James Gunn always knew how to use music in well-timed scenes. We then see that after decades of not killing Nazis, GI Robot felt happy killing the Sons of Themyscira. Meanwhile, we have flashbacks showing how he ended up in prison, and there's a quick scene showing those villains you see on screen. They are classic villains I don't even remember, but exist, and James managed to bring them back, even in a small scene. It's already a lot. While we see this touching scene with GI Robot, Cersei arrives and destroys him, and at that moment I felt like, no, did he really die? But right after that, Cersei goes after the princess. However, Weasel arrives and attacks Cersei again. I was shocked because I never thought Weasel would be so dangerous. But our monster team manages to defeat Cersei while Nina goes to see GI Robot, who dies, saying the name of the episode, Cheers to the Tin Man. Wow, guys, this episode was really emotional. It's impressive how James Gunn made me like this character. In just a little over 20 minutes, while the story deals with the present, it also reveals G.I. Robot's past, which is quite sad. Throughout the episode, we realize that G.I. Robot isn't just a machine. He had desires to find his friends. He wasn't merely a machine with set guidelines. He had a personality, but no one cared about him. No one wanted to help him. That's why they saw him as a robot for experiments and analysis. I really liked the depth in building this character in this episode. I enjoyed the flashback scenes that fit perfectly and the music used in this episode that complemented the scenes well. James Gunn made me like him even more because he surprised me once again in this series. So that was our analysis of episode 3 of Creature Commandos. I'm excited to see the next episode, which will probably tell Weasel's story. Don't forget to click the like button, comment below, and subscribe for more content like this. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.